Shalom Aleichem. We're beginning page 26. So after we learned yesterday's Maimon regarding explaining the machlekes of the Malachim on the first part of the pasuk of the Haftarah of Vsamti Kadkod Shesai, he continues further being masbid the pasuk what it means la'asud loven. U'sharayich la'avnei ekdoch. Your gates will be avnei ekdoch. What's avnei ekdoch? It's explained. It's the nun shari bina. We know that in Kabbalah it says there's 50 gates for bina. So the sharayich from bina will be avnei ekdoch. What does avnei ekdoch mean? Just like a gate, people go in and out. There's nun shari bina. Through them, the hashpah comes from chokhmah, from ayin, and it goes into them from chokhmah into bina, and from bina it goes out to the midas to be his pilus aseh. His pilus amidas, sorry, like it says in Zohar and the pasuk. Nay, that Basharim Bailo, she's known, her husband is known by the gates, the Eibishter is known by the gates of a human being. Basharim, what is Basharim means? Says the Zehar. Basharim, how much you understand, how much you feel and discern in your heart. Now, in exile, since their heart is stuffed up, Leiv as Timtum, it's so connected with the Taivas Gashmas of Elam Hazeh. The brain can't control it, that it should have, after the deep understanding of Hashem, to have a Yispilus Hamidus, because the Aveda stuffs your heart. That's why Yecheskel Novi in Golus says, our hearts are lay for heaven. Carried once from the Rebbe, a stain in our hearts, a heart of stone, where it doesn't talk to us. This is what the Pasuk is saying. Mashiach will come. There'll be usharayich la'avnei ekdoch. Your gates will be burning rocks. Ekdoch means eish kotcha. It says kigdei in Parshas. It says also in Yeshaya kigdeach, a burning fire. There'll be the gates of Bina that'll come down in our midas. And our stone hearts will burn up with fire to Hashem. Like the Gemara says, if you learn Torah, even if your heart is like a stone, it'll melt. Because nothing will stop. There'll be a tremendous love to Hashem. And the greatest the greatest waters will not be able to extinguish this love. That's why it's avnei ekdoch, burning rocks. Stronger than fire, because water can extinguish fire, but it can't extinguish diamond that shines. Says the Alter Rebbe, ekdoch in diktuk. The aleph means miloshin osid. It will be. It will burn up. But in Golus it's wrong. This is our aved in Golus, to try to work hard. Try to be me'eded and achmim rabim on the godly nitzutz bayas. The heart will burn up to Hashem. Says the pasuk further, Sharayich will be avnei ekdoch, and he explained that's the nun shari bina, the 50 gates of bina. Then it says in the pasuk, chol givulech la'avnei chayfetz. Gvulech is the 32 strands of chokhmah. What's the difference? The hamshachas of bin are called gates, and the hamshachas of chokhmah are called paths, nesivois. Because the shorim is for everybody. It doesn't go very far, but the paths go very far. It says in Kabbalah that Bina only goes till Hoyt, but Nesiv is small. It goes very far into the deep deserts and fields. It goes very far. It's the Torah. It's the greatness of Hashem that comes in the physical matters like agriculture, like Teya, Bikurim, Trumas, Omaisis, and Korbones. And this is Gvulei. Because the whole Torah is measurements. This is kosher, this is possible. A sukkah higher than 20 amo is possible. Goes over a couple of an inch, possible. Also, you have to have 60 to make it bottle b'shishim. Or lo, you need 200 against it to make it kosher. Those zokman. Chol gevulich la'avnei chayfetz. Avnei chayfetz is through these chokhmah, these paths of chokhmah that comes into the midas also a heart of a stone of desire to Hashem, higher than the ava of avnei egdoch. That's an external love, but v'chol gevulich will cause avnei chayfetz, stronger internal love, even though people don't see it. It's very, very deep. That he could pass away if he doesn't get what he wants. Like the Gemara says, there was someone, Yosef ben Durdaya. I think he's referring to that. Let's see here, 5:22. Yeah. Gemara says in Sanhedrin that someone wanted to have a woman, and he had such a great love, and he told the doctors. The doctor says, if you don't give him that woman, he'll die. So we see that you could have a love, such a love that if you don't get it, you die. It means chayf, it's a very, very strong love. Like it says by Shem ki chofetz v'chinas Yaakov. And this comes dafke from Chochmah, this very strong love. But from Bina, there's also Avnei Egdoch, period. And these things will shine very strongly when Mashiach will come. Then the pasuk says further, "Nafter v'kol bonayich limudei Hashem v'rav shleim bonayich," that his shalom will be strong. And we know Chazal say in Rabbi Parshas Mishleisha, it has to be at least Shleisha, because there's 3 levels of shalom. That's the 3 levels of shalom. Aleichem, we say by Kiddush Levana, there's the level of Yosef Tzadik Elyon. He brings the shalom through bringing the mashpia down to the Makabel, like we said before the previous minute. And the second level is Minyamin at Tzadik, that the Makabel goes higher than Milo, and then you have the Kadkod, the connection of these 2 levels. Shalom Mipamayah Shel Milo is 1 level. Shalom Mipamayah Shel Mato is the 2nd level. And connecting both levels is the 3rd level. And this is what it says. Yosef fell on the shoulders of his brother Binyamin and cried. This is the level of Yosef. This is Milmaylo Lamato. Yosef is Tzadik Elyon. And Binyamin cried on his shoulders. That's Binyamin going up Milmato Lamaylo. And then it says, Vayif Kaleim, he cried. He cried. What's the idea of crying? He says you can't have any connection from a higher level to a lower level without tears. Like it says when Mashiach will come, you will have great tears because we'll be elevated to a very high level. Now, at first it says in the Pasuk, in order to have it, first, in Limudei Hashem, you need to learn the words of Torah, Vsamti Kadkod, words of Mishnah, and then you will have everything else. First, you have to have learning Torah, then you have the 3 levels of Shalom. You connect to Hashem through Hashem being revealed to you, and then you being elevated, and then the connection of the 2. This only comes through Torah. Now we have the kitzur of this beautiful mimer we learned. The first sif is about Shimshoi Shayich, the two levels of sun, the levels that shine in Elul, and the levels that shine in Yom Kippur and Seshem Mitzvah. And he goes into a big explanation. That Yidnar Machshov and Chochmah is higher than Machshov, and his levels higher than Chochmah. Tshuva is to be connected in Echad. But you have to, before you have this Aliyah, you have to be afraid of Aryeh, of Kesher the Klippa. You need to give Tzedakah. 30 midas of Elul is the Shemesh Tzedakah that help us elevate to Hashem. Then you have Shemesh Havaya in the days of Elul. Or you could say that Shemesh Tzedakah is Gorgor Hei. It's not the lower level of Shemesh, it's the level of Shemesh when Hashem will take out the sun out of its shield, out of its case, when Mashiach comes. This is Sheim and Yoshpe. Sheim is Yesef HaTzadik. He's written on the stone of Sheim. Yesef comes down on Maila Mata. Yom is Yoshpe Mata Maila, two levels of Shemesh. And this is Michoel of Gavriel. Michoel is Chesed, and Gavriel is Gura. And this is Kadkod. Connected with two levels of Baruch Shem Kved Machus Sheleilon Vod. We say in the morning is the higher level. Yes, then Ben Yomin is the Baruch Shem Kved Machus Sheleilon Vod, which is 24 letters, which we say in the evening. Then when Mashiach will come, you say Usharayich Lavni Egdoch Fire, Chol Volech Lavni Chefetz. Say the Pasuk V'Rachlim B'Noyich Rav is 3. Because Kedain is every level on its own. And then you connect the two. Then you have Sholem. This is like Acer Sholem. The Eibusha makes Sholem between Michoel and Gavriel. This is the third level. Okay. We move on to the second Maimer. Vsamti Kadkod. Says the Alter Rebbe, it says in today's Haftarah Vsamti Kadkod and Shisagi, and the Gemara says in Baba Basra, the two Malachim in heaven are arguing. The Choel says that it's Sheim, and Gavriel says that it's Yoshpe, and the Eibusha says, you know what? Levi Kedenu Kedenu. It should be like both. It should be connected from Shem and Yoshpe. Amazing rock. He said, to understand what the argument is, the depths of the argument, we have to know. We know that it says in Kabbalah, Bisarusa de Lisato, Isarusa de Leilo. Through a Yid's arousal, there's arousal of Hashem. You have to understand how could our little arousal from below cause an arousal from above. Question number 1. Another question. Gemara says, Gemara native says that 2.5 years Bishamim Bisil argue if it's Noyach Lodam Shenivro, if it's better for a person that he was created or better he wasn't created altogether. And the Gemara says in Erevin, Nimnu v'Gomra, they decided it's better that he's not created. Now that he's created, he better do some Torah mitzvahs, but it's not worth it. How could they come to such a conclusion? It says a pasuk in Chumash not like that. It says a pasuk in Chumash that the Eibusha saw everything that he made, it's Tov Me'od. And Tov Me'od, this pasuk was said after he said to make a man. And the Eibusha is Tov. Kumen B'Shamim B'Sil, after 2.5 years arguing, and they say, you know what? Neach L'Adam Shalei Nivra, it's better he wasn't created. The Eibusha says it's wonderful that he was created. How could you say it's better that he wasn't created? Well, you know what? He was created, he better do some mitzvahs. We have to say there's a deeper pshat. So it says, we have to understand why the neshama came down to this world. We know Yedida, it came down to this world to go higher. He asked this question in the previous line. Since the source of the neshama is machshava, machshava the meibust. Mashov is united one with Hashem, higher than the rest of the world. How does it come in a physical body to be elevated high? It's knowing that Shom has come from the level of Primis HaKelim. And the Malochim come from Chitzenis HaKelim. To understand what's a Keli. No, it says a pasuk in the Mipsori. Understand that in Atsilis, you have to look at it the way it's in your body. Because we're a reflection of the higher world. So we have Keli and Guf and Neshama. The Neshama is the and the Guf is the Keli for the Neshama to shine through the And the Seichel comes into the Keli of Meya, and the power of vision comes into the eye, and the power of hearing comes into the ear. All the Evorim are a Keli for the Neshama, that through them, the Neshama should shine in every vessel, in every Keli, according to its makeup. Now we know that the Guf is Gashmi. And since the Guf is Gashmi, it's Eina, the for Neshama, which is Ruch. And there's no relationship between them. It actually says from the Ramah that we say Asher Yotze, you say Mafli Lasis. What's the wonder? The wonder is that the Eibishter connected in the Neshama and a Guf. And it comes in and gives the Guf life. Dafke through this Guf, it has a relation with the world. Because Seichel is Ruchni, and the brain is Gashmi, and it connects. Same thing as Lamaila, where it says in Ziyar, this spheres are Gufa Lagabi Nishmosa. Enisef shines in them. The level of Chochmah is like a Meach HaGashmi by a human, the physical brain. Lagabi the same. Same is true. Chochmi lo. Chochmi lo compared to Chochmah Stimo. Chesed Atzilus compared to Chesed Hayin Atzilus is Gufa Lagabi Nishmosa. Kol Shekin says it's Emat Tzedek. For the Lagabi the Eidus of which Pasha B'tachas HaPshitis, the Sphiris are a Guf. Because the name is the Eidus of his Labi Kol Ilimidisi Ilu Klal. There's no Chochmah by the Eibishter. Chochmah is like Asiyah. Nevertheless, the Eibush is Muslavish Chochmah, which is Bittul Keach Ma. The Chochmah is Akeli for the Eidus Sof. Because through the Eidus Sof, he's Mizgala to the Netzolim and also in Biyah. So you have Hashem, and you have his Eid, and the Eid is higher than the Spheres. It's like the Neshama, and it comes down into the Spheres. With this, says the Alter Rebbe, we answer a question that bothers many. We know that the creation is called Yesh Mi'ayin, something from nothing. How could you call Hashem nothing? It says, Apostle, Mimcho Hakil, that everything comes from you. How could we call Hashem nothing? And it says in the Rambam, in the beginning of the Rambam, everything happens from Hashem. How could you term the relationship of Hashem and the creation Yesh Mi'ayin? It should be something from, it should be Ayin Mi'yesh. We're not talking Chatz Shalom Hashem. Hashem Ayin, God forbid. But Atzmi Severi Sof is much higher than the Ashpa to create worlds. You can't say that he's busy creating. It says Ki Hutziva v'nivro, it was created by itself. He's not creating. Creating means he's involved. There's a Keach HaPeil Benifel. The Mashpia is involved in the Ashpa and he's weakened by the Ashpa. The Eibishter is not. It happens by itself. As in the Zeir Breishi, Inyan of Mi Boroil. So he says in the Zeir, what do you mean Mi Boroil? Who created this world? Says in the Zeir, Atik, that's Kaimal Shaila. Atik, you could ask about Boroil. Because higher, there's no Shaila. What's the pshat that Atik is Kaimel L'Shaila? Kaimel L'Shaila is when the creator is involved in the nifal. You can ask me, who did it? That's the Svidis Mamalik Almin. That's Bora, Ato Baroso, Ato Makayas Kulon. It's talking about the Eibush after he was the Samsim and the Kilm that Silas. And through them he created Biyah. So even though it's separate from Atzilus, it's called Briyas Miyayin. It's not Ilav Olu. Ilav Olu means that the Ilo has an Erech to the Olu. Yes, Miyayin means that there's no Erech from the creator to the creature. But the Kalim that Atzilus come, and then the Neshama Livya, and it's the Shmosa Legufa, and it's Malik Almin. Ador Zokmen mi Bora Eile. Breishis Bora Elikim. Elikim is mi Eile. You could ask, he's involved through the Sfiris. Higher than the Sfiris. Higher than the Kalim Atzilus, it's Sever. It's not Kechapel Benifo. It's like Vachochme Me'ayin Timotzi. You find something, you know, gave it to you. You can't say me because he's higher than being involved. It's Vinivro, it's created from him, but he's higher than being involved. Yeah, that's much higher. Same thing is by the Eir of the Rebbe. Comes in the Sfiris is Ayin. And the Kalim are like a body. I like the Sfiris. So he asked in the beginning of the Maimon, where higher could the Neshama go? The whole world is Chitzeni Sakelim. And the Neshamas are from Primi Sakelim Atzilus. So he says, aha, based on this explanation, we'll understand tomorrow that the Neshama, that Kalim is a big Yerida compared to higher. And the Neshama goes even higher through coming into our body and doing Torah mitzvahs in this world, as we will see tomorrow.